Hello everybody, how are you guys? We're doing a series of videos in communities around Pittsburgh, and one of them that we're getting a couple requests about is Glenshaw. Very fascinating story. I had no idea. It goes way back, as do many of the stories of towns and boroughs and communities in the area. Pittsburgh is such an old city. It's really more eastern in its roots than Midwestern, and Glenshaw is a good example of that because Glenshaw refers to a type of vehicle that didn't exist until it was invented in the town. So it was, picture this. I mean, it's in the 1700s. The Pittsburgh area is very hilly, very severe weather at times. Not today, beautiful in Pennsylvania. Heading toward Pittsburgh now. But, so those conditions, those factors create the need for a different type of vehicle. But at the same time, money was tight. People in what at that time was considered the Wild West were living very close to the bone, meaning they didn't have much money. Everybody was trying to survive. There were a few people starting to benefit from manufacturing and other trades, but a lot of people were just working, trying to bring in a daily dollar, trying to farm, trying to forest, trappers, right? And one of the ways that was efficient and cheap to get around in the New World throughout Pennsylvania and other colonies, other states, was the rickshaw, the traditional rickshaw from Asia. And it doesn't get a lot of play in the history books, but if you were elderly, or you were disabled, or you were just tired, or you were rich and you didn't want to walk, you could employ a rickshaw to take you around Boston, to take you around Philadelphia, New York City. And you're looking at 1730. This is before it was even a country. But Pittsburgh, it was certainly used as a means of transportation for certain people that could pay for it or needed to pay for it. But you get up in the hills in the middle of February of the Pittsburgh area, you can forget about it. So a guy named Glenn Coleman Ostafkovich decided to do something about it. And he took the traditional rickshaw and he improved it. And the result was called the Glenshaw. Now the Glenshaw wasn't quite as light, but the reason being is that Glenn put some snow tires on there with chains, and he built a heated cab that you could sit in. They built a little fireplace, and so the person that was pulling the Glenshaw, they had to be strong, and so that eliminated also the number of people that could be employed in the Glenshaw business as a Glenshaw puller. But despite those changes, it was a major hit. And the heated Glenshaw with snow tires was used throughout the Pittsburgh area and expanded to Wheeling and Parkersburg, and it really became a hit in the hilly, winter-bound months of all of those towns. The only thing that really kept it from becoming as popular as the rickshaw was its weight and and it's a little more expensive, and also you needed a much heftier, burlier person to pull it because of its weight and also its use in inclement weather. But guys, the Glenshaw factory right there in the town of Glenshaw was so busy that they could not keep up with the orders through the middle of the 1700s. And Glenn became super wealthy for the area. He came up with a couple more innovations that didn't quite click as well. One was the double-decker Glenshaw. So you had the heated, normal heated cabin that he built, but he also came up with an outdoor upper deck. And it just didn't, the weight was too much and it wasn't quite as popular. The outdoor portion was only really popular in the fall and the spring. And it wasn't, I guess, cost effective to produce on a mass basis. But guys, that's the history of Glenshaw, and wow, I was reading the map at a rest area over here on the way back to Pittsburgh. I was reading the map and reading about some of the interesting points of interest in Pennsylvania on the map there at the rest stop. And I was talking to my agent about these videos on the phone. A lady heard me. She said, "Oh, you got to talk about Glenshaw in your videos." And I assumed she was from the area. I didn't ask her specifically, but she did have on a sweatshirt that said Glenshaw Band Tuba Section 1977. And I'm going to assume that she was in the band at the Glenshaw High School there. So she must know somewhat of what she's talking about. If you know anything more about this, though, get on the tuber. Get on the YouTuber and leave a comment, or hey, shout me out on the Twitter machine, Joe Ditzel, and let us know if you know anything about Glenshaw. All right, this has been another Joe Ditzel parody. Come back. We got so many more, guys. Pittsburgh is such a great town. There's so many more videos. Come back and see us.